Hey folks, it's Brian here with Survival on Purpose, and today I want to shoot a quick video in my basic camping series about water bottles. I think that's something obviously everybody needs water. We can't live without water. I think all the experts say 3 days without water and you're basically dead. I can tell you that you go all day without water, you're going to be in a hurt. You can make it probably, you're not going to die, but really water is so important. We tell all our Boy Scout kids that's one of the main things we have to combat when we're on a camp out, especially in the summer. But even in the winter, it's real important is to stay hydrated. So important to when you get dehydrated, your brain quits working properly. You wind up with a headache a lot of times. You wind up not thinking clearly, and the longer you go without water, the worse it gets. So water is obviously very, very important, but there's a wide variety of options out there for water bottles. So I've got several here that I've collected over the years, and thought we'd just take a few minutes and go over the ones I've got, I've got a pretty good representation of what's out there, and tell you the pros and cons, in my opinion, of which ones you should be looking at. So let's get to it. Okay, so first of all, I'll go kind of old school. This canteen here is about 40 years old. It's my Boy Scout canteen from when I was in Scouts, and it had a little cool cover on it and a belt hook, which you can see is broken off. It's kind of beat up and dented. Very, very oxidized inside. It's aluminum canteen. So, which is one of the reasons that I don't prefer aluminum canteen. But there's several reasons. Maybe we'll go into that. But you can see this canteen is 40 years old. It still works. It still holds water. There's no leaks in it, and so that's always one option: a good aluminum Boy Scout type canteen. So, but moving on to the 21st century, probably the most common water bottle you're going to find is one just like this. Comes in a wide variety of colors, and that's a Nalgene bottle. I mean, that's just like the absolute most common water bottle out there. This one happens to be BPA free, says right there on the bottom. BPAs are a big deal right now, and you can see floating around inside of it. Let me show you what that is. I'll go ahead and dump this water out. One of the good things about these bottles are they hold a lot of water. They're very lightweight. If you're walking and trying to drink, it's got a gigantic opening, which is a good advantage when you're refilling it. When you're trying to drink out of it, it splashes all over you. So they got these things called splash guards you can buy, and they just kind of snap in here, and they basically give you a little drinking hole there. And they work really well. They're like a couple of bucks. You can find them in REI and a lot of other good stores online, whatever. Probably get them on Amazon. You can get about everything. So anyway, it's an Nalgene bottle. They're typically 32 ounces. Usually have graduations on the side. I prefer a clear one if I'm going to use this, but so I can see the water inside. But honestly, I really don't prefer these. These are good for carrying water, but this is not going to be my primary water bottle, and I'll tell you why. The other thing you can find, a lot of times you can find a carrier. I kind of like a carrier for mine. If that's what I'm going to have out with me, just so I can have it around my shoulder, whatever. If I'm out walking around, make sure I always have it with me. I don't have to sit it down somewhere and have it carry it around. So you can clip a carabiner on this thing here and clip it on your belt. After a while, those things can get broken. But that is a traditional Nalgene bottle. So that's choice one. And it's very good. You get these for around 10 bucks or under. Another very common item you're going to find. These are similar to Nalgene bottles, but these are more like off-brands that you're going to find at you might find these at a drugstore, at Walmart, or wherever. And they're also 34 ounces, which is a little different. They're right there, made in China, which is about everything. So this would not, in a pinch, this is great. It's not going to be my first choice. Probably not BPA free. This one's pretty old. And the thing about BPAs is BPAs are chemicals which are used in manufacturing plastic that have been shown in some studies to be able to leach out and get into the water, and they're probably harmful for your body. I mean, they're made in a laboratory. Pretty much a lot of stuff's harmful for your body. Who knows what the actual long-term damage is, But I mean, I figure why take a chance when you can buy now everything's BPA free. It's not a big deal to get it, so I'm not going to use that one. Next option, got this, and this is when we start getting into my favorite options. But while we're still on plastic, and I did a review on this. This is the Berkey filter bottle, so there's a whole video review on this one, but I always keep this with me. And it's actually, well, it's real quick, it's a plastic bottle, it's BPA free. It's got this filter in it. You can just dip water right out of a creek, put it in here, and actually it's protected so you don't have to worry about the germs that are on the rim or anything like that. Open that up and just drink it out. You might have to squeeze it a little bit to get it through the filter, but I carry that with me empty. It doesn't weigh hardly anything. It's just good to have. It's good for, I don't know, a couple 100 gallons or so, somewhere in there. Pretty good bit. You can look it up online or watch my other review. So that's another water bottle option. This thing's not cheap. It's probably around 20, 25 bucks. But you can filter a lot of water with it, and it does a great job. And it's light. So you might have guessed I'm not really thrilled about any of those other bottles. I do have several of these Nalgene type bottles hanging around, and I use them. Kids use them. But my absolute #1 choice is going to be a stainless steel metal water bottle. I don't like aluminum. Aluminum has been linked to Alzheimer's disease. Some people don't worry about that. You know, I figure it's not maybe a big deal, but stainless steel bottles are pretty cheap, and so they don't really weigh much more than aluminum. So, you know, why risk it, right? It's not a big deal. So this one, it's just a cheap stainless steel, made in China bottle. Who knows what kind of chemicals are leaching out of it, but it's all stainless. It's just painted on the outside. It's got a little silicone gasket here. Pretty big threads. It's a non-standard size mouth, but these bottles are very, very common. This size and style bottle are very common. Got a little loop top on it. I think I found these at like a Ross or Marshall type store, like 2 for $3 or 2 for, I mean, it was crazy. So just look around. If I'm in the store and I see metal water bottles that are on clearance or sale or whatever, I just buy them, because you can always use them. You know, they will get damaged. They will sometimes get torn up. You might knock a hole in them or something, but this is pretty good. Stainless steel bottle. And what's great about stainless steel is, the reason I say stainless steel, you can sit this in a fire, directly in a fire, and boil water in it. It's not going to melt. I know there's videos and you've seen on TV, you can boil water in a plastic bottle, and you can, but it is extremely iffy. You got to be really careful, and you just can't do what you can with this. You can sit this right in the fire and just let it boil. You can also make char cloth in here, and it was dried out. You can carry stuff in it. You can cook in it. You can do everything you can do over a fire with water, you can do in this. So, and the reason it's important that you can put this in a fire is the only sure 100% method for sterilizing water and killing pathogens is boiling. And so you can always make sure you have safe water to drink. Now, if there's chemicals in it, or pollutants like from pesticides or agricultural runoff or stuff like that, it's not going to get rid of that boiling one. You need to filter it. So it's really recommending you filter and boil. But in a pinch, if you're dipping this out of a creek in the woods, there's probably not agricultural runoff, but there may be certainly pathogens, waterborne viruses and bacteria that could really hurt you. So, and again, if you're in a survival situation and you have a choice between drinking unpurified water and not drinking water, drink the water. I mean, the odds are within 3 days you're going to be rescued, and it takes usually longer than that for most waterborne pathogens, at least in the United States, to affect you. So drink the water and take your chances. It's better than dying of thirst. So one stainless steel water bottle. Just a couple of other choices. One thing I meant to show you, I forgot. One good thing about these Nalgene bottles is, and they make, Scout Canteen makes some that are about the same size. They're stainless. You can buy a standard cup, and I forget who makes these. There's a lot of people make them, and they fit right over like that. So you can put those in one. It's a pretty good little handy package to keep. Speaking of that, this is one of my favorite water bottles. This is a 32-ounce Pathfinder stainless steel bottle, and what I like about it is it's kind of short and fat. It's really full, so it's got a big opening on top of it, and it comes with this other cup here. It's actually a 25-ounce cup, which is a little bigger. and it's graduated inside where you can see it. And it's got some good features. I did a review on this also. It fits right in there like that. So again, stainless steel, use it for everything you use the stainless steel for. And so that's a good choice. You can find that on the Pathfinder store website. And last, your traditional canteen. This one happens to be a stainless steel canteen. Once again, Pathfinder store, but you can buy these in aluminum or stainless, or even in plastic now. Plastic ones are probably the least expensive. Stainless is probably the most expensive. This thing's going to be around 50 bucks or so probably. But again, it's stainless, so you can cook in it. You can put it in the water. I mean, you can put it in the fire. You can do whatever you want to. Typically, you can get a canteen cup that goes with a canteen. And I'm not going to get into this too much, but canteen cups usually fit right around like that, so that's a pretty good deal. So you can have a nice little kit. This has actually got a stove with it, and a cooktop thing. I've already done a review on that. I'm not going to go into that, but just wanted to show you that the canteen is always a good option. So that's a quick overview on water bottles. I think water bottles are something that everybody needs. Obviously, I keep one in my truck just so I have some water during the day when I'm driving around. But if you're outdoors, you need to make sure you've got a good source of water. I always like to have again, my recommendation is some kind of stainless steel water bottle, water container that you can boil water in. And you can also use for other uses, such as making charcloth, and which is another big use for a stainless steel container. One of the things you really need to have is part of the basic outdoor series, camping series, and I hope this has been helpful. So once again, this is Brian with Survival on Purpose. Appreciate your views. I appreciate you clicking the little thumbs up thing down there. I really appreciate it when you subscribe. Make sure you check out my other videos. I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. Remember, survival is not an accident. See you next time.